That's right!
Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm Mica Burton.
The long arm of censorship strikes again, and this time, it's banning dongs on consoles.
How dare! Barbarian survival simulator Conan Exiles became a viral PC hit thanks to its inclusion of a customizable Cobra slider, allowing players to change the size of their character's penis during the character creation phase.
The game, currently in early access on Steam, is set for a full version release on PC, Xbox, and PS4 in the early part of next year, but sadly, the dick slider is not appearing in the console versions. Censorship!
This news comes from a number of interviews conducted with Funcom creative director Joe Bylos, who's to blame for the absence of albino cave dwellers on console. According to Bylos, it's Japan, Microsoft, and fear of getting a bad rating.
Oh, come on, that didn't stop you on Steam.
And how can dicks get a bad rating?
Alright, so Microsoft's down with the coal train, but not the D train. Got it. In one of these recent interviews, Bylos told Glixel, Xbox has been pretty clear with us that it's not going to fly.
Bylos went on to say, it's just going to be off by default, I think. I don't know if partial nudity might be okay. We haven't spoken to Xbox about breasts. They do allow breasts in some of their games, but the penises definitely won't be there.
Shame. Alright, so just so we're clear, the list of things that aren't allowed on Xbox now includes two things: dongs and exclusives.
It'll be interesting to see how the absence of customizable dongs affects the game's long-term sales on consoles. Part of what fueled Conan Exiles.
We're so stupid. We're like 3 years old right now. You know what? I'm kind of okay with it.
Part of what fueled Conan Exiles to early success was how quickly the game gained press and social media buzz because of its endowment slider.
The surprise success helped developer Funcom actually make its budget back in just 1 week. Conan Exiles has now gone on to move in the neighborhood of 500,000 copies, so those are like heavy lifting dongs. Prior to that, Funcom was right on the edge of bankruptcy.
Since then, the survival game has been hanging out around the top 30 most played games on Steam, with a peak of around 11,000 players daily. Obviously, that's not only because PC gamers have a penchant for floppy dick physics.
Although they do.
They do, I admit it.
But not only because of that.
It's also because the game happens to be a lot of fun. Even still, it wouldn't be where it is now without that initial press.
But Bylos wants you to know that Conan Exiles isn't just about barbarian knobs. He stressed in other interviews that despite the ability to customize the size of Russell the Love muscle, the game does not revolve around sex.
In a separate interview with GameSpot, Bylos said, "That's why we have the turn off servers. Because A, some people don't want to play and have their kids see dicks in the background, and B, we know that one day on consoles we'd have to set them to off anyways."
So this was bound to be an issue at some point, and they've always known it. Plus, the exclusion of dongs wasn't just because of Xbox and ratings, because apparently Conan Exiles' Japanese team was also wary of the turgid tentacle.
In the interview with Glixel, Bylos said there was a lot of talk from our team in Japan, because the game is translated in a lot of languages, and the Japanese translation team said, "You'll be banned in Japan because you have penises. That's a flat-out ban."
Look, this isn't the first time we've seen a weird censorship double standard with genitalia. It happened most recently in Ubisoft Watch Dogs 2, only it actually went the other way.
This one took place after one user found a fully rendered vagina on one female model in the game and shared it to PSN via their screen share feature, which got him banned using the service. Other players found digital dongs and naked hula hoopers in the game as well, so there you have it.
It's inclusive. After the community uproar, Sony rescinded the PSN ban, and Ubisoft said in a statement that they would be patching the vagina in question out of the game completely, but they would still leave the dongs, which is kind of weird.
Can everyone please just like standardize these genitalia bans? It's getting weird, like we can see bush, can we see dong? It's getting all confusing. It's very interesting that we've seen both Sony and Microsoft take a much harder stance on this than someone like Valve, which has allowed both Conan Exiles and Rust, each one featuring floppy pocket rockets, into early access without any problem.
Now, some of that might have to do with the age of the average player base, honestly. According to a 2014 study by the ESA, the average age of console players is around 31. Meanwhile, the MPD reports an average age of 38 for PC gamers.
Another reason for Microsoft's hesitance about lower nudity probably has to do with the fact that it's meant to be a showcase title for Microsoft's Xbox Game Preview, which is their version of early access.
Yeah, it's not like we haven't seen dongs on consoles before. Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5 both feature the big Italian salami, and getting a mature rating didn't exactly stop those games from killing it in sales. And you'd have to wonder if all the other things already going on in Conan, like violent maiming, aren't already going to keep it from getting dinged by the ESRB.
If you're wondering, the pork sword has also played a role in The Order 1886, South Park: The Stick of Truth, Manhunt 2, and Dante's Inferno. And who knows, maybe a Mass Effect Andromeda.
Look, when you really think about it, this is silly. This is ironic. Much of Conan Exiles' early sales boom, at least initially, had to do with the fact that the dongs were there in the first place. But now they're taking them out of the console versions in order to sell more copies.
So we'll just have to see how all of that shakes out. So what do you guys think of Conan Exile ditching dongs for consoles? Let us know in the comments.
And for future updates on more games starring the Big Pickle, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Now.
I'm excited.
This is gonna be ridiculous. The anticipation. The anticipation. I intentionally didn't pre-read this one because I just want all the jokes to just come at me.
Like that hot dog gif of all the dicks flying at that girl's face.
Just like that. Okay, here we go.